sea and are returned ready for scrapping. As our shoreside prisons were starting to struggle with the increase in waterline prisoners, these ships were converted and held captives at anchor with the river. A number of ships following the Napoleonic Wars were anchored here at Sheerness.
Together by gantries. The one in the middle to our right is the command tower. This would have housed the radio communications, sending back the information of the impending invasion coming in from downriver back to our shoreside establishments such as the RAF Gravesend or perhaps Southend or Maidstone. Fanning out from the centre, we have gantries that then connected all of the peripheral towers together. Onto the top floors, where all of the towers they had 93mm AA guns, or the AK guns as they were renowned for. The southernmost tower that is closest to the Kent shore, this is known as G1, and G1 is today home to the Red Sands project, a team of enthusiastic individuals who are out here various times to try and at least keep some of the doors and windows repaired. We're trying to keep at least one tower alive for future generations, although we haven't seen them for quite some time now. The last bit of work they did was to replace the top floor windows on the westward side. They've taken the lower ones out, but haven't yet returned. See, COVID, I think, got in the way. We start to venture round the forts now. On our left-hand side, this fort here, this is the Beaufort's Tower, and this one was armed with two anti-aircraft Beaufort guns. Notice that on this one we have two balconies that jut out from the right tower. All the RSJs that support the house structure at the top, the accommodation, they all run in an east-west fashion. Although tucked up underneath the pipework, you'll notice there's some additional RSJs that run in a north-south fashion. So on the other side, only a single air vent, although the vent is actually still in place on the eastward side. But whilst all these towers out here are rusting and decaying, in some places we can see up through the floor into the actual accommodation areas. Most of it's now starting to collapse, and it probably won't be long until we lose one of these accommodation blocks into the water. If we were to come back in maybe, I don't know, another 50, 60 years, probably all we're going to be left with is the concrete bed sticking up out of the water. It's unlikely that these will be hit by a ship, not nowadays with all the new modern technology, radar, RIS positioning. But off to the north of the tower we have a red buoy, North Red Sands, and this is the buoy that keeps all of the ships out of the, in the main navigational channel and out of harm's way. the brick that designed the ship with the critical construction is welded together. Even though, and then again, she might not be. Here's the pilot filter again. And whilst most of the aft hold remained dry, the cargo was all taken off, but the forward section, which had become hold, remained firmly on the riverbed. Now fully submerged, the ship with a propeller and rudder hanging clear of the water could be seen clearly. Through these T-pieces, these are all the same size, these masts. You can see that by placing an imaginary line through the central mast, through into the forward mast, you'll see it's going down into the deeper waters of the River Thames. Whilst the aftermast is leaning backwards slightly. The top of the mast closer towards the Isle of Sheffield. You can see that by leaning backwards, you can almost imagine the propellers and the rudders going down into the deeper waters of the River Medway. All you're going to be able to see is this exclusion zone, clearly marked out with a red and yellow buoys. You'll be able to see the tidal markings in the water as the tide flows around.